David Gale. You can check me out on Facebook. Come check out the Lamplight Poetry Reading. It's a poetry reading I host there. It's untitled. And so you crash on a calendar of days like a wave in the belly of a being far greater than your state of being. And so some other person had the same thought you had, and you wondered to yourself if that made it more or less pointless. And so you thought you knew the answer to that question, but next week sends you a scribble on a napkin across the kitchen counter, and you change your mind into a garbage bag of leaves that dances like a gust of autumn that couldn't keep its damn mouth shut. And so you fall to the ground, clump into a pile, harden into a whetstone, and kiss the knife again and again to forgive yourself. And so you begin reaching out with each breath, taking in a magic to keep your dumb ass alive. As you die because of stillness, become a fizzled tornado one small child stood inside of once and danced. You stop, say I'm not old, just tired. Unity turning into a word for death. Aim not to be the miracle where they store the wasted potential. We're all living the same sad life if we let ourselves. You can't let the misery convince you to let yourself. And so you sit on their curb there, hopeless, draped over your shoulders, talking to yourself as if to the divine. He's so much shorter than you expected. You ask your company, how do I know you are who you say you are? God says, sorry. It comes with the title. It is difficult to say. I'm a bit dry in the mouth from a medication, a recent surgery. What can I do you cannot yourself? You have made me into the skin of so many cities. Look at my hands. Look at how small they are. Notice how they call me God. Not old, just tired. Here is called Heartbreak is a Necessary Act. I do not keep my heart in my chest. After all, that is not where it belongs. I piece it out purposefully. I find it dishonest to protect it. Much of me is for safekeeping, but the heart is not among the like. I keep my failed attempts at wooing women, for example, in the palm of a flower seeking forgiveness for its beauty. The petals drink heavily and spread wide to feel for the next glass. I keep what I should forgive in the furnace that never burns. I am not as good at letting go as I wish I was. I have kept the sound of my father's hand coming down on my brother in a room where I do not go, where I have left all of the lights on, where there is an upright piano that after 3 years of music is never played again. I keep this room inside a baseball that I toss into the air to myself as an excuse to look at the sky without being overwhelmed or lonely. I keep the sky in the parts of my childhood I no longer remember, save from the '94 earthquake, which all over my mother's floor. Her voice is all over the kitchen floor. That morning it was the strongest thing I have ever heard. I keep the quake in a bucket of ice cream I had to eat as fast as I could because the power wasn't coming back on, because ice cream beats electricity any day of the week. I keep the days of the week where I cannot find them because it is such a joy to be lost. I keep much hidden from myself to keep the feeling of lost. I recently found my way through a memory on the lawn of my family's first home, my way through remembering my cat's face in mine while I cried love's loss out and he purred, my way through the attic of my first job where I began my education in poetry. I keep the poems I've written in a pile of firsts. All the initial moments know each other, and I tell myself one day you will all burn, but not today. I keep the burning day in a damp cave I visited as a teenager when home began its slow loss of meaning. I keep the life my brother shouldn't have lived, inside the lip prints of strangers on the glass that separated me while visiting him. I keep the tears of my mother and father from the jailhouse parking lot, the treatment center lawn, in the bath where I held them in wet desperation. They left their eyes for me there. They might not know it, but I have them. I keep them. All of these things are safe with me. At any time I can scoop them in with their many more, close them tightly inside myself, but I do not keep my heart in my chest because that is not where it belongs. It belongs in my mouth, in my hands, in my feet, equinus, under the floorboards of love, in the ashtray, in the mailbox. Break it again so I can give it another home. My heart is 3,000 years old, and it's everywhere I have already been.